In some lights, my body looks like this, and in others, it looks like this.
Sometimes my body does this, sometimes this, and sometimes this. And I love it because it's all part of the process. We try to see the body as an instrument and not an ornament, but from a lifetime of running, I can tell you that there are certain harsh realities about your body when you run that you need to be prepared for. Things that it's going to do or things that might happen. So prepare you, we will. And we're going to give you some solutions so that you can navigate your way through in the best way possible as a runner for life.
I'm going to start at the top of the body and move my way down, or loosely do that. And we know what's at the top of the body, the old brain box. And the first thing you're going to need to know when you start running, or even if you've been in running for a while, is this is going to try to stop you where possible, because the brain from way back in our evolutionary history is hardwired to keep us safe from harm and comfortable. Now, running is obviously safe from harm, but not as the brain sees it, and it's not comfortable. So we have to almost go against our very nature in our heads to get out there and run. And that is the hardest thing, I think, in the early days that you have to get yourself around. The brain will come up with excuses. It will say, oh, you're tired today, or you've had a long day, you've worked hard, or it's raining outside. It's going to provide you reasons to not run. You have to override those reasons. But on the flip side of that, when the brain and the body work together, it is unreal. It is a machine, and I can tell you right now, your mind is one of your biggest limiters. You are capable of much more than you even believe. So don't let the mind win, and you know what? Just knowing this information is the start of the battle that you will win.
One thing I had to learn about my body the hard way, and to a certain extent still am, is that injuries are going to happen from time to time, and they suck. At some stages, the body just says too much and a link in the chain breaks. But all is not lost, because the solution is in the understanding. The body is connected in what's called the kinetic chain, and very often where an injury happens is not actually where the problem is. A great example is a hip injury I picked up in 2019 that turned out to be because I ran with my left palm facing backwards and not inwards, causing my arm swing to change, leading to over-rotation of my trunk, leading to too much strain on my right hip, and pop, it couldn't handle it. So although this harsh reality is that everyone gets injured now and again, the solution is to have a holistic approach to strengthening your body, because it's all connected, and just simply understanding it's all connected is a great start.
A harsh reality that might be more particularly for beginners, but it's worth all of us understanding, is our body is not going to change overnight. You're not going to start running or start gym workouts and get a six-pack. It doesn't work that way. It's an investment in the long term. So let's use the gym as a perfect example. Most people who are regular gym goers go there because they know that over the long term, their body is going to get better and improve and be able to do more things. But they don't go there expecting to do one workout and then have this ripped body with a six-pack. That's not how it works. And it's the same when we transfer this to running. You start in running and your body might not change for a year or 2 years or 6 years. It might never really change, but I'll tell you what it'll do. It'll probably be able to do more, to run faster, to run further, to run with less pain. Now, that's worth the trade-off, right? And yeah, I would say if you stay in running, if you stay in gym work, anything long term, you will see improvements in your body and what it can do. But it's not going to happen overnight, and sometimes that's a harsh reality to runners that have just started. But stay in the game, please, believe me, it works.
Along a similar theme to the legs situation is the stomach situation. And it can be a very fickle mistress, your stomach, in many different ways, both in training and in racing. So there are some things you can do to maybe avoid, problems. Actually, it's easier to talk whilst I'm in between kilometre repeats. But you might have been out there and about, let's be honest. You might have been on a normal run and then the stomach says no, and either you got to get back home quickly or you got to duck behind the bushes and do what you gotta do. But there are some things that you can do to, I guess, minimize. You're never gonna stop it happening, I think, because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But we wanna minimize. I guess the first or easiest thing that you can do, or at least understand, is that the gut is very trainable. So if you go training and you try a new gel and it upsets your stomach, it doesn't necessarily mean the gel is bad. It just means that your gut needs time to adapt. So you have to remember that first. Don't quit on something because it upsets you the first time. But of course, the caveat to that is don't let the first time be a race or something like that where you've never used a gel before, because you are asking for trouble. So let's quickly throw into the mix some other things you can do. Eat well before you run, maybe a couple of hours. Make sure it's some solid stuff rather than high sugary food, because that can upset your stomach too. Experiment in training, obviously, not in races, because some things are going to upset your stomach, some aren't. But like I said before, you can train your gut. But ultimately, and I'm going to have to say this a bit quiet, but you have to accept sometimes that you may soil yourself in your pants or in the bush, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it, but it means you're a runner. Sorry. Perhaps one of the harshest realities of running is on some days your legs show up, and on some days they're not there. And that can be in training and racing, but we're about to find out if they show up in a race.
So the legs didn't quite turn up, but that's the point of this whole thing, is even if you have a really great lead up, even if you do everything perfectly, they might not turn up. And even if you don't have a good lead up, they might turn up. You can do everything you can and you have a chance, and you give yourself a better chance. You skew the odds in your favor, but sometimes they're just not there. They were there for this person today. So, you know,
You did well.
I did okay. So when one set of legs don't quite turn up, the other set of legs, they're there. Well done, Mary.
Thank you.
That's the
Thanks, legs.
both the joy and the frustration of running. You never know. I think probably my own personal harshest reality is that every single morning when I wake up, something or multiple things ache or hurt, and it's just what I've accepted is part of a runner's life. It's something I've had to come to terms with, whether that be sore Achilles from the moment I get out of bed, or aching legs if I've had a harder session or a race, or my general body when I do a gym workout. Every day there is some kind of ache, and I know I'm getting older as well, but it's just part of my life now, something I've come to terms with. Honest truth right now, I've not been long up and I hurt here, 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 I ache here, thank you Jesse, here, here. That all genuinely aches and is stiff. But you know what? The good thing is I love it, because I know it means I'm getting after it, and as long as I don't push over the edge into injury, I'm all for it. I'd rather do that than have the pain of regret of not doing these things that we love.
I wish this wasn't a harsh reality, but the harsh reality is that this is a harsh reality. Anyway, and it is that if you're running a lot, you're gonna be hungry a lot. And your body is an engine, so you need to fuel it properly. But the key is to fuel it in the right way, not like a trash bin like I sometimes fall into the trap of. I think it's okay, I can eat what I want, I'm training hard, but would you honestly fuel a Formula 1 car with horse manure? Well, making poor food choices is a little bit like this. You can't outrun a poor diet. So here's what we do. We try to make sure we're never hungry by eating good, healthy meals at the right times. But if we do get hungry, we set our environment to help us make good food choices. No low quality food in the house, only healthy. And also we make sure we fuel enough in general, because the quickest route to injury is not eating enough for the demands of training and recovery. It's definitely a balance, it's a process, but once you understand how your mind and your body works, you can deal with it so much better.
Okay, one thing you need to be prepared for is to say goodbye to some toenails. First found this when I was road running and increasing my distances. Toenails starting to bruise and turn black and look a little bit unsightly. And then when I turned to trail running, boom, game over. Bye bye toenails. Literally having like 1 or 2 missing on each foot.
Mary sometimes puts nail varnish on skin when the toenails are gone.
Ah, true story.
So that's you have to make your peace with that, because is it going to happen?
And that is a top tip. If you wear nail varnish, keep it darker in colour, just paint over the skin.
Or, here's my top tip, paint it the same colour as the bruised toenail. No?
Yeah, do that as well.
Oh, okay.
Just keep the nail varnish dark.
Essentially what we're saying is, just be prepared. The life of a runner is manky feet from now on. You can do your best to look after them, but you're going to lose toenails.
Yeah.
And my final point, and possibly the one that I really want to impress on you the most out of all of these points, is there is no such thing as a runner's body. There's no predetermined body shape or body type that makes you a runner. What makes you a runner is putting on shoes, lacing them up, getting out of the front door and moving your body forwards at whatever pace. It could be walking to start with and then running. But if you do that with the intention of getting better day on day, you're a runner, and anyone that tells you different needs to not be listened to. There is no size, there is no weight, there is no shape, there is no anything that makes someone a better runner than another person in terms of a mindset. Some people will be faster, some slower. That's life. But if you're getting out there and you're getting after it, you deserve to call yourself a runner, and you've got to be kind on yourself. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people not doing it. So you need to be proud of yourself, and you remember you are an instrument, not an ornament anyway. And that's it. I hope you got something out of the video. If you did, then consider subscribing, but never any hard sell. And if you liked the video, then you're definitely going to like this one, which was the 7 hard truths of runners' diets. And hopefully, again, you can learn a little something and help you on your running journey. Thanks a lot for watching. See you on Wednesday, another race.